Here we go. Empty trailer. Monday morning. Sun is shining. What does that mean? We just have to wait and see. Is it there yet? No. We're going to pick up something. I'll bring it back soon. Stay tuned. There you have it. 64 Chevelle Malibu SS. Been setting for like 5 years. It was hard to get it loaded on the trailer with the way it was tight in the man's garage. Y'all stay tuned. Let me get you in here. Woofda! That whole side. Ooh, front's bad. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of work. A lot of. Let me get you in here. The inside though still looks good. We'll get it up the road and get it off. Get it on the lift. Show you what we got going on underneath. Well, we got it off the lift. Got it off the trailer. Let me show you this other side. We'll get that trim and stuff stripped off. Quarters are rotten. Drop offs are rotten. Brace is rotten. So we're gonna get a good first look under here. This is my first time and your first time. We haven't driven it. It hadn't run in like 5 years. All we done was pulled it up on the trailer and it's leaking oil and transmission fluid like crazy just by moving it. So you can imagine what this baby's going to do with some heat in it. Got a new starter on it. So with some heat added, it's either going to get better or it'll get worse. You know what I mean? Yep, I like watermelon. That's what we used to say at Mike. Somebody'd say, you know what I mean? Yeah, I like watermelon. Lot to do, lot to do. Looks like it's gonna need exhaust. Looks like, it's hard to tell with it on the lift and that platform there. We'll know more about, once this comes off, we'll see how bad the rockers are. I'll go ahead and get those off. That way we can evaluate everything and I can let the owner know kind of where plan A is going to be. But you can see, needs some loving. Needs some metal work. All right, let's dig into this. Let me see if I can get you in here, show you what we got going on behind this trim. Let me turn you around. One Phillips screw there. That's that little vessel that we bought off the truck. It's really holding up good. Underneath here you've got a couple of 5/16. And then down this perimeter here, you've got a 5/16. Let me get you on down. Let me get you on down here where you can see a little bit, get in a little of the action. Just about to the end. And then all you gotta do is pull it off. It rolls out and slides up off of the clips. There you have it. Get you turned back around here. So as you can see, that rust was swelling out, had that pushed apart. All of these are rotten, and then on the other side it's rotten. But looks like maybe the quarter panel itself, not quarter panel's rotten. Looks like the it's in pretty good shape on the rocker. These right here, they're held on by little old Phillips screws. We didn't notice it down there in his building. But down this side, I don't know if y'all be able to see it or not because of the sheen. It's got like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nice sized dents in it. So that's all good. Ooh, got some parts in the trunk. Let me get them out of the way where you can see what we got. Oh, let me move that alternator where we can get a little better. Okay. Well, I got a trunk pan coming. We already got the quarters. They came with the car. Got the inner and the outer wheel wells for both sides, and the drop-offs for both sides. Cause it is R-O-T-T-O-N, Raton, Raton. Ooh, what is that? Okay, well, okay, well, kind of gives us something to shoot for. Like the dash and stuff, the interior has been preserved, pretty good. It's been setting inside. Needs a good cleaning up. Like the headliner. Headliner looks pretty good. I mean, it's dirty, but a car that's this old. Said it was a California car. Doors shut good. Gaps are a little bit tight on the trim. We will make that right. That's where it's lost it right there. Should be. Go ahead and see if we can fix that right there. It's time to do a compression test and see what we got on this little 283. Been setting for 5 years. What's it supposed to be? I guess I'll go on no Google box and see what the cylinders are supposed to read. The odometer shows 53,000. 53,214. And if you look at the pedals, I'm telling you, but surely this thing's not, it's more than 53,000. Wouldn't you think? I don't know. It's got the center console, got the power slide. Slide, slide, slide. Oh, okay. Dome light works. We have confirmed headlights work. Dimmer switch works. Tail lights work. One tail light was out though. Blinkers work. Blower motor works. Radio. You ain't gonna believe it. But while I'm in here,
you look great. I'm Karen, founder of Glow Aesthetics in Greensboro. We specialize.
Can you believe that? Okay, got to. Looking right at it. Tack works. The clock don't work. Clocks most of the time don't work. Wipers work. So let's get started. There you go. There's some numbers for the compression. This baby has got a healthy 283. Let's see if came in on a trailer and it should be ready to drive out the door in the same day. Not that we're done with it. It's just we need to get it out, get it fired up, let it run. We know that it's got massive oil and transmission leak. So we'll let it run, come up to temperature, see what this old engine does, because it had leaked on the trailer just from hauling it in. Now that's pretty bad. So I would recommend, if once this thing is running, if it leaks, now it could get better, don't get me wrong, but if it leaks like it does, just setting, I'd recommend pulling that whole unit out, because he eventually wants it painted anyway, because we've already got the panels, got the inner and outers coming, got the trunk coming. I'd pull it out, clean up this engine bay, paint everything that you see black, paint it back black, leave it together, but paint it back a nice semi-gloss black while the engine and stuff was out, and then the outside can come, like if we fix the rust in the engine area and stop the leaks, he could drive it until we could paint it, because technically we're just like everybody else. We're behind, praise God. We've got plenty of work. We just got to get out of the bed of a morning and do it. So Dylan has verified that the timing is up, but the wiring and stuff like that needs to be, the other guy had it in, see where the horn is at against the firewall, that needs to be pulled out and turned. Your horn needs to go over here on the passenger side, but then all your wiring and stuff has been in that shape so long that they're conformed like that. So we're just going to see if it'll fire off. It turns over good. Plugs. He pulled that one plug out and it looked good. We're gonna just see if it'll fire. 5 years. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Fire right up. No problem. Get a little splash of true fuel. It's gonna be hard to, I might can get it down that vent. Ah, that's too much. Perfect. It's dry. Too much. That's perfect. Again. Oh yeah, we got a runner, Bo. We got a runner.
That one barrel's wanting the gas. Single barrel.
So we know that it runs. We just need to, since the gas tank, you know, we got a new gas tank to go with it. But we can't put the new gas tank in till the floor pan. So he's gonna pull the hose off, and we're gonna put some gas in the jug and see if that old fuel pump will pumpulate it up to that big barrel there. That one big barrel. All right, got us a makeshift. We verified that the pump was pumping. Let's go. Should 5 years. Whoop whoop. Probably runs just like the day it was cut off. No smoke.
That leaks out of the base plate of the carburetor too.
I just poured fuel in there. That baby needs tightening up. That's the fire head.
Well, it was, no, the actual carburetor, not the manifold.
Oh.
I'll hold it up. This thing really drinks sunlight.
Fuel pump's leaking like crazy. That's why it's losing its chrome.
Oh yeah. I thought it was just cooling.
Sucking air, yeah. It's gonna be hard. Might.
That's like third or fourth time. Which I cannot. It ran until I idled it down.
Yeah,
so.
idle it back up and see if it'll stay enough. Because that thing was pumping.
Yeah, it's got the pump. It's just the seal was dried up. That's what was wrong with.
I think there was a new one. He's supposed to have a new one with
I
it.
think that was the new one, and the old one was in the box. Give me some gas.
All right.
It's squirting it out of the house. We'll run through that. Good. Try to let it get stable. Roll it up on the fire.
Lifter's already pumped up.
Yeah. It's got like 30 or 40 pounds over it. Yeah, 40.
Let me get y'all in here. Got a bad water pump leak. It's got a bad fuel pump leak. And like I said, we already knew that it had a bad oil and transmission leak. Ain't nothing hit the ground yet though. Wrong button. Sure does run good. The exhaust, you can tell the exhaust is full of trash and rats and stuff like that. Got upset and quit, didn't it? Okay. Need a little.
Yeah, go juice. Fuel pump is killing me.
Little go-go juice. Perfect. Well, that fuel pump leaking so bad, it's sucking air and losing its prime real quick. But as long as it's idling, it does good. But
It stays work.
probably, I don't know what it's got in it as far as the thermostat. But lifter's got a small little tick, but tack works. I bet the radio plays good while I push the antenna back in. Let's see if we got reverse. No, we got brakes because I rolled it out. Oh yeah. Shut it down, that probably won't start. Old True Fuel. Has the transmission. Just needs a fuel pump and the oil seals. Hoping that some of that stuff would seal up, you know, when the temp comes up, but we're gonna have to have a fuel pump. Yeah, okay.
Just sucking more and more.
All right. So we were calling it a day. Dylan got the new fuel pump put on. That other one was leaking around where the bottom and the top mounts. The carburetor's going to need rebuilding. So it'll come off tomorrow for a cleaning and rebuilding. The previous owner already had a kit. So we want to get it to where it will run smoothly by itself, come up to temperature, and watch the heat cycle, make sure everything's going to be good. We want to get it hot, is what I'm trying to say. Not hot as in boiling, but hot as in if it was drove. And get those seals and everything back, either swell them up or make them worse. It's got to do one or the other. But we're out for today. 64 Chevelle. Let me give you a little update of what we got going on. Drums had to be turned. It's got new bearings. The grease had like sand in it when we pulled the brakes and stuff off, because it needed upper and lower ball joints. It's got new end links. It's got a new gearbox. This one, we got ready to drive it the other day, and it had fallen way down. It had, I guess, like come apart inside here. Praise God we didn't drive it. Could have been bad. That's new. The link, the sway bar, not the sway bar link, but the tie rod link that ties the end links together. We're gonna get this bumper off this morning and get this old gas tank out. But if you'll notice right there on the floor, it's got a damp spot. Well, I want you to look, see if you'll be able to see. You can see that you can see how dry it is right here, and then it gets wet. Let me see if I can shine you a little light in there. Look at that. That brake line is rotten, and what little bit we drove it has already burst or rusted through. The pressure has split, and so it's got to have new brake lines. I'm gonna put new brake lines on it, get the gas tank off of it, because the trunk pan and stuff, everything's here. Trunk pan, the drop-offs, inner and outer wheel wells, and we already had the quarter panels. But everything's here to get started on this one. Probably gonna cut it apart next door. That's what I'm thinking. Cut it apart, make our mess over there, because we got the air turned on over here. And then may pull it back over here and weld it up in the air condition. I don't know. The humidity's been heavy lately, but if you can do stuff in the air condition, that's great, because it makes you feel better at the end of the day. Anyway though, the client, he's coming by today. We're going to talk over a few things and see where he wants to go next, but we got to get this rust replaced, because it definitely, it is time for it to be cut out. Trim is off. Trunk is empty. If you don't know how to get the trim off of a 64 Chevelle, there's your clips that it clips on. The whole perimeter. And then back here at the back, that curved piece, you can see it's got little clips that the nut screws on. Well, there you have it, folks. We're gonna clean up in here and pull this thing next door and do the old hack attack on it. We're just gonna hack it apart. Cut it apart. Got new trunk pan, quarters, inner and outer wheel wells, and the drop-offs that go in under here. Trunk drop-off. This is one thing that don't come with the new pans. You always have to cut that off and weld it onto the new one. That way, if anybody ever wants to put the original jack back in, they can. And those oval pieces, they don't come either. Those there look like they're reusable. If not, we can order them. They're not that expensive. Let me give you a little midday progress here. So we pulled the back seat and stuff out, and the door panel, or the rear panel on this side, because this side here has got a little bit of damage. If you've ever put in a inner and outer wheel well, you know that they are a lot of work, I think, because your trunk can drop down and everything when you cut it loose. Give you an idea of what we got going on inside. We've got our pan laid in and fit. This side, we just pulled the pan back out. It was fit, and what I done was cut out what was needed. And the client, he's fine with that, because that will save him some money. That will get rid of the rust, but save him some money. This here, once the pan and all goes back in, you know, it's got to be welded in. Everything is, if you've ever done quarters, it's kind of like a trial and error. Well, you fit it, you pull it off, you fit it, you pull it off. The new quarter and all has been fitted. I normally come up to my edge, but since this one's got the fancy trim, I'm gonna have to come in. That makes it a little more difficult, but you know, it can be hammered and dollied and ground and so forth. And what we'll do is grind down what's been welded in. The pan, which is right here, came with new braces that wasn't welded on. So we put them in place and run a couple of screws, and then after lunch, that will be drilled and spot welded to the panel. and then it'll be laid back in to make sure that nothing changed, and it will be fit back and get tacked in and weld this side in. Well, that looks better. No, it's not on. Look at what we found today. If you go fishing, sometimes you'll catch a fish. We went digging and we dug a hole. That side is in and ground down. Quarter, I'll come in the morning and do a little bit of work on it. This new bottom needs a little work on it. The drop off to make it fit just right. This one here is put in. The new piece is put in. Got the screws, that way we can back them out one at a time, drill a hole and spot weld it in. The brace, the new brace is spot welded in. The pan is ready to be trimmed and cut across here and fitted in, but look over here. Would you just look at that, Mama? Look. Ooh. So come in the morning, do a little more digging. It's kind of discouraging. A little discouraged about the back glass, but we'll get it out. Probably replace this panel right here. We'll see. Looks like there's some holes, some small holes. From underneath, it looks like there's some silicone in the little holes, like where your clips go. So tonight I need to order all new clips for the back glass, and then I need to order these little plastic pieces for right here, because for right there, because they're kind of like a one-time use clip. When you peel the chrome off, it breaks what latches. And then need to dig into this. It's been siliconed also. So just have to wait and see. So we got the back glass out. Cleaned up this channel. This side over here, once all the gunk was cleaned out, you can see it's got to have a piece made. So what we'll do is we'll just make us just make it, it's into the body panel actually, see. So I was looking for a straight edge where I could explain it. Yeah, I got a straight edge right here. So you can see that it's straight, but when you come down to where it touches again, right there, see how the bodies actually eat out in that gap. You can go online and buy pieces that's already made, but by the time I order, you know, we've got this new piece. We'll just have to, we'll make us a piece to fit in up here. Might have to make the whole thing, probably not, probably just make us a piece to go right in there. And then we'll see what, we'll get this off, see what the new one, how it should end right here. So we're about gonna have to make a piece and put the right curve in it. And then see, what makes it so complicated is you can bend a 3/4 by 3/4 piece in the metal brake, no problem. Measure you out 1.5 inch wide piece by, let's say that's 10-12 inches, and bend it in the middle, and then all you got to do when you get down here to the curve is put it in the shrinker and let it start shrinking the curve, and you just keep checking it. Well, the thing of it is you've got to get the trim out, the actual stainless, and make sure that it fits and is correct back on the curve also. So it's a lot of checking and holding the trim up. It's a lot of back and forth, in and out. Let's see what we can get done. Let me show you what we got going on this morning. You know what was here, that panel. So I like to cut out the bulk of an area with the grinder. It's fast. Then I go back in, see all those little, you see those little yellow marks? That's where the spot welds are at. That'll get drilled out, and then it will be easy to break apart that little bitty L that's left from this piece right here. You can take it apart, you can go through and drill with it all, but it's just a lot easier, I have found, because like I can take and cut right here, get 2 or 3 of them drilled through, and then take this piece right here and wiggle it back and forth, and they'll pop loose. And then if there is one that I've missed, say there's one right here, that piece of trim will bend. You know, it's not going to break it loose over here if there's still one right there that I've missed. And then that little old flexible piece of trim will just bend right there at it, and then you know what you've got. And then this right here is the same way. It comes apart, it's spot welded through to this inner panel inside. The big downfall in doing these, in my opinion, is you need to have the paint and know the paint that you're going to paint so that you can go ahead and fix that before the back glass goes back in. On a 64 Chevelle, you've got to put all your clips in first, then set your back glass, and then put your trim on. The back glass needs to be mimicked to the right height with the trim, you know, as it goes across. This here is going to be a little more difficult because, you know, it started eating away right in here. We're going to have to make a piece and then probably make a piece right here. The 68 Chevelle that I restored about 3, 4, 5 years ago, the real dark blue one, well, the only 68 Chevelle that I have restored with a black vinyl top, if y'all have seen any of the videos of it, all of this was rotten. Had to make all of that. Takes time costs money breaks the heart and the bank. All right, we got the top pan off and the piece that folds over into there, into the trunk. There they are. You see all the spot welds about every 3 inches or so, 2.5 inches. And then the same way up here, about every 2 or 3 inches. Check this out. See if I can get you down in here and see. Check those out. From right there to right there, 14 spot welds. Oh, you want to see again? Let me drop you back down in there. See them? It's crazy. Crazy if you ask me. That's all I got to say. All right, we're back at it this morning. and I got all the spot welds off over here. It's not painted or nothing underneath, it's just been cleaned up some. But I wanted to get, I was thinking, you know, I had to trim it right here to get it to slide back so that the back glass would fit. But I was thinking to myself, I want to show them, because I know the owner will watch this video, and I know that he trusts me because the vehicle is here. But for the others that don't really understand why it costs so much, is the original one of this was rotten, as you've seen in the previous video. So then what was welded through to the actual frame of the car, you have to take your time and clean it up good. If not, you're going to ruin what you're welding back against. Same way, you know, right here. But anyway, I've got it fitting to where it's flush, but now I need to set my windshield, my back glass back in, and make sure that it will set in. And I will cut me some little, I think they're 3/8 by 1 inch blocks, and put in here to space it out, because you've got to have room enough for your clips. On a 64 Chevelle, the clips have to be put in first. Then your back glass has to be set. Then your trim can be put on. But you've got to make sure that the back glass is setting right, so that when your trim snaps down, it's not up too high or down too low. It's pretty much flush or level, you know, is the way we look at it. But anyway, that's what takes so much time, is I've got to get the back glass, and it's still got a lot of nasty stuff on it, so I've got to clean it up before I can lay it back in there, because if not, it's just going to get that stuff all over what I've got in there that's actually pretty clean. That'll give you an idea of why it takes so long, why it costs so much, because time is labor. That's just the way it is in this world. It takes time. Gaps look good. Gap across there looks good. Trunk lid gap to the new pan looks good. It's a little low right there because there's no rubber. And then it's low right here because of the rubber. But that can always be adjusted back. You can see, like I said earlier, it's a lot of work because we had to put the trunk lid back on. This right here has been screwed down into place. I cleaned up the glass and I put the tape on it to just help protect it. That way when you lay it back down on the stand, you ain't got to worry about if there's possibly something on the stand that would scratch it. But this right here needs to come up. I don't have anything. I could run a bead of the sealant and build it up, but then that would just make a mess. Once the weld and stuff is fixed, or the rotten's fixed, and this pan is welded in, when it goes to body work, this right here will be raised up and make sure that the trim and stuff fits it correctly. Because see, I don't know exactly how the trim fit before, because when it came, it didn't have any. But it's going to look good. Now we just got to take everything back apart and get this welded into place, take it back off, sand the bottom, paint the bottom of this and the inside of the pan, which is up inside there, and then put it all back together, weld it up, You know, it's just a never-ending process of put on, take off. All right, so we got our piece laid back in. It's not completely fitted back in yet, but I was going to show you a couple things that I've done in the past, like when I've had to make a new piece. I cut it in a V. That way when you hold it down like that, by the time you get a good weld, it will just about fill that V up. When you grind it down and it put the new rubber in, nobody will ever know. If you drill a hole like we've done up here, the hole, it'll just melt out anyway and kind of look open at the end. So it's just the way I've done it in the past. We've got everything sprayed and got the outer edge with the weld through primer. Rest of it's painted black. Time to get it locked in. Let me show you what we got going on. So Dylan handled the welding. We marked about every 2 inches or so, maybe not exactly, pretty close, with a small bit, actually a small screw, and then carried it out there and made the holes bigger, and we sprayed the weld through primer where it's going to weld, and down here. Well, down here I cut the V's. Well, I showed him, he finished cutting the V's. So once they're welded up, you can see that it's good to go. Once that's blasted out and the new rubber and all goes in, it'll be perfecto. So what I done was, naturally up here I used this grinding stone, 3/8. But in this tiny area, you don't have much movement. So what I done is I used it to remove the bulk of it. And then I took the little cutoff wheel, and then you can go in, so you've got a lot of movement then, and then you can let it drop off of that edge and clean up. That way when you seam seal it, you don't rip your finger open. Just a little tip. We got a couple spots here to drill the holes and weld up, and then the welds underneath here, up inside there. I tacked them while he pushed down, and this panel will be DONE done, and then it's off to the races to cut out the rust and have a lot of fun. Well, this back here at the back, we're just about done on our time for this one. So when it comes back out, we're going to store it. When it comes back out to work on it again, we're going to put it down the hill where the new lift is at. Blast everything that's been welded in. All inside, everywhere. All in there where they had previously worked. We're going to blast and clean that out, and then grind and clean up what they left. This here, oh my, what is that, you ask? That's where this was at. I cut it out as gently as I could. You can see where it went in like that. You can see it had a couple spot welds there, and then it was so rotten it had a couple spot welds right in there. But you can see it was supposed to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8, the piece was so rusted through that they had already separated. So I don't know that we will get this fixed right here on this time card or not. But what we'll do is we'll make a piece that'll go in and go ahead and fix it to where it has the curve to match that over there. And before it gets welded in, we'll see what we need as far as sheet metal. Going to have to fix the spot because this has started rotting, so it's actually thin. So we're going to have to do surgery on that area. Just wanted to give a little update on that. No, they're not welded on. They're just bolted on. So they are ready. See the X's? That's where dents is at. I got the hammer and dolly them out. They are ready to be welded on, but we are time's up on this one for right now. Trunk pan is in. Dylan went through and sprayed just regular black paint on all the welds. That'll preserve them to keep them from flash rusting. I mean, it's going to get blasted, but it'll be easier to knock the rust off of the welds than it will be to knock the flash rust off, or so we think. Turned out pretty good. Back panel's in. Y'all see earlier in this video of what it is, what we got. And then over here, you can see where it's been cut out. We'll catch it next time. And then this side is on. So we just got to get it cleaned up inside, vacuumed out, move our fireproof blanket, get the wheels back on it, park it in the building until next time. There you have it. The quarter panel is currently being welded on. So let me show you this other side. Let me show you. Got the seam sealer in. All right. So I had initially cut underneath, and I told Dylan the other day, I said, you know, the last 64 that I done, I cut on the ridge just like I always do. Well, this one here had the nice holes for your chrome trim, like that right there. And I told Dylan, I says, I don't want to cut and have a weld spot on that flat, because that is going to be a good spot for it to pucker in. So laid the skins up on there, took the skins off where Dylan had sprayed the brown paint up inside to preserve it until we could get back to it. It marked the inside, it marked the what you call it? It marked the skins. And then I took and laid each skin up on the stand, drilled 2 holes in my little oval, and I drilled the holes like here to match. This here's a screw hole just from where it was holding the piece in. But I drilled through, and then I took and filed out my little oval. So that allowed us to put it up there this morning and cut out the piece and weld it back on the edge just like we like to do. Here's the piece that we cut out. And like on the Camaro video, we start back here, cut so far, tack, and then start pulling that piece out. And then by the time you get up here to the end, it's you pull that whole piece out. But that's where we're at, and that's what we got going on today. It's Friday. Let me give you a little evening update. Dylan's got this one just about completely welded up around the perimeter. Not quite. And then this one over here, this one is fitted and screwed in. And we're gonna come in tomorrow and we're gonna show you how we weld it out. All right, here's what we got. Somebody in the comments on the Camaro asked about actually seeing it done. So this is the 64 Chevelle, and we're gonna show you what we do. I'm gonna cut up through here to right beside that screw. I'm gonna reach inside and pull that little extra piece of metal out and push it in tight where Dylan can tack it. All right, so as you can see, I got my piece tore loose. And then, you know, whenever we move on down through here and make this fit, we'll be able to pull that. Can you see through that hole? See that piece of metal? Now what I do is I always pack it to shake off the little old sanding dust, and then we'll push it in just like that. All right, you hear how he's double touching it. Sometimes you have to give a little spot and then double touch it. Hand me my 1/4 inch gun. So now, take the screw out, just like that. And we'll cut to the next screw. One thing that I want to say is you don't want to cut straight in. If you cut straight in, even though that's a thin disc, it will leave a wider gap. Come in, I mean, the straighter, the more parallel you can run with it, or how do I say it? It's not a 90, but maybe a 45 or a even straight up. It makes a tighter gap. And then come in here, see my piece of metal, see how it's already folding it out of the way. And then once you get to the end up there, you'll be able to pull it straight back at you. Now you see, when I roll this in, I can push it in and then I can roll it around to the top so that it makes them touch. It's just a little technique. All right. All right. A little windy today. messing with the gas and stuff. All right. And then see how nice that is, and then we'll continue to move on. I think that's probably a good enough tutorial. Just take your screws out. I like to do short distances because if you were to take out 3 or 4 screws down through there, that could change levels a little bit, but it probably wouldn't be enough to make a big difference. But once that is welded solid, it's a little bit thin right there, that's going to be a nice spot, nice crown. Just like that, it's all tacked all the way down through there. I cut a piece of that off so that I could get over through there, but and that's the way we do it. So this side over here is just about all tacked up, ready to be ground. Still got to drill and fix our holes around the wheel wells, but that puts it all back together just about. Quarter panels have been blasted. 2 coats of Spy black epoxy, and then 3 coats of the Cree 321. It's been blasted underneath. Fixing to raise it up and put the black undercoating. Custom coat bed liner. Right, there you have it. 64 Chevelle trunk pan install is done. Quarters are on, all ground down inside on both sides, and then the trunk spatter is put in. I blasted it, put it in black epoxy, and then found out that the spatter needed to go over gray epoxy. So I had a few spots for that 24 grit cut and stone leaves like little lines where I ground down the welds, and so I done a little dolphin glaze over that, and then put it in gray epoxy this morning. And we let that set a little bit while we went to lunch. Come back and put the spatter in. Proof is in the pudding. Once you grind your welds down on the inside, you can't tell if you know, because if you had a lap in that quarter panel, you'd be able to see it unless you actually done, you know, body filler in it. But I think he'll be really happy with that. This here was the parts place, a quart can of gray white trunk spatter, and a quart wasn't enough not to put it on like what we wanted, to where it would have a really good solid coverage. You know, from the factory they didn't really put it on, but we wanted to put it on anyway. Dylan run down to O'Reilly and picked up some more from Duplicolor, and we top coated it. It actually had more white spatter in it and give it that more factory look. 3 to 7 days to fully cure. That's what it looks like. Seam sealed and all. He's gonna love it. All right, the little Chevelle is put back together for now. Client's coming to get it, take it home for a little while. Gonna do a few things to it himself, and then bring it back later. I don't know if I can get a good shot from underneath or not. Brand new gas tank and all has been put in. Oh my, what a spider. Underneath, been nicely undercoated. We put the exhaust and stuff back on like he wanted. It's rotten, but he'll probably take it to exhaust shop or something like that. Didn't quite get to go as far as we wanted to. Should come at a later date. We'll see. So y'all stay tuned.